In this video, I'm going to talk about a crucial endgame tactic, which is called Stalemate. Stalemate is when your king is not in check and you can't make any legal move, although it's your turn. And this game, well, whenever Stalemate happens, it would end in a draw. In this position, it's a very common mistake that White can play. His last move was e7, and it was a check. The Black King has only 4 squares to move to. These 4. And 3 of them, and moving to 3 of those squares is a nasty blunder. One of those blunders is king to f7, and then the king can march and this pawn is unstoppable. Let's say these 2 squares, but then the pawn can immediately promote. So there's only one good square for the king, which is king to e8. And now White has to get rid of this pawn or accept a draw by stalemate. And you see that the Black King has no legal moves and it's not in check, so the game ended in a draw, although White has a pawn up. I've bought a master game to show that stalemates don't happen only in king and pawn endgames. In this position, both were female players, and the one playing black was GM Lagno, a female grandmaster. She's Russian. She was playing in a Bulgarian tournament, if I'm not mistaken, and anyways, her opponent had an extra queen, she had a passed pawn, the king was free to move anywhere, and however this Black King was trapped. However, king to f3 was the opponent's last move, which was a mistake, because the queen controlled all the legal squares for the king, and the opponent, Katerina, couldn't push these pawns. So only if these 2 rooks were absent, it would have been a stalemate. And that's what she aimed for. Rook takes e3. And as you can see, if king moves to f2, the rook comes to d2 and gives a check. So the king captured the rook. And Katerina sacrificed her rook and gave checks numerous times. And after her last rook was captured, the game ended in a draw, for the reason I just explained.